Daf Yomi, tractate Sanhedrin, 8b, top of the page, with the words Meisivi. The Gemara raises an objection from a Braise to Sefta 1, 2. וחכמים אומרים תבואי ממון בשלושה תבואי בנפשס בעשרים בשלושה בשלום הרוב תבואי ממון תחילה בשלושה תבואי נפשס נפשס תחילה אבל ממון בעשרים בשלושה אלא להולה kasha. The Gemara raises an objection from a Braise to Sefta 1, 2, and the rabbis say, if he took her to court and claimed money, the case is to be adjudicated by 3 judges. But if he took her to court and claimed that she was liable to receive the death penalty, the case must be judged by 23 judges. Granted, according to Rava, the Braita can be read as referring to the terms of the beginning of the trial. If he claimed money at the outset, the case must be judged by 3 judges, since the case concerns a financial claim. Since the case concerns a financial claim, 3 are sufficient. But if he initially claimed she should be subject to the death penalty, even if the case becomes transformed into a financial case, it must be judged by 23 judges out of concern for their honor. But according to Ula, who says the requirement for 23 judges is based on concern about rumors, is difficult. Amar Rava, Ani ve'ari shebachavura targemna. Umanu Rav Chia bar Avin. Hachabamayaskinan. Shehavya bal edim shezin so vehevya av edim vezimum le'edei ha'ba'al bo legabo ismomen ba'al mibal b'shloisha makim nefosh b'chon shloisha. Rava said, I and the lion of the group, Ani ve'ari shebechabura, I and the lion of the group both explain this. This is a really nice code. I think it's a code, to be honest with you. That's the whole thing of trying to code this. Ani ve'ari shebechabura. This is the best. Check this one out. Ani ve'ari shebechabura has a numerical value of 801. 801 is the area code of Salt Lake City, Utah. And 801 turned into 435 in the year 1937. It was added. And Eli Stefanski is giving the daf today in Park City, which was once upon a time 801. So you can connect Ani v'ari shebechabura. It's really not a common term, I and the lion. I've heard this before, but so my theory is this. Every once in a while I go off on a little soliloquy, a little tangent, just to explain what I'm looking for. Every once in a while, if you learn, Gemara enough, you'll realize that there's a basic format. You have your Abayas and Ravas and Shmuels and Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak and Rabbas and Rav Papas. It's kind of a flow, a general flow there. But every once in a while, and they say their things, Hachabayaskinan and Hakamiflagi and this and that. But there's always one thing that comes out of the blue, like something. He stood up and he said, the shoemaker from the town of Machoza should tread on water for 5 minutes, or something like that. Something like off the wall, apparently. And so I think this is one of those things when it says like, Ani ve'ari shebechabura, me and the lion of the group. That doesn't come very often. It comes once in a while. So my whole quandary is, how many times do these phrases come up? At what intervals do they show up? And when they show up, is it pointing to something to think about? It's just an ongoing quandary, and I think it'll be amazing when it's revealed what these things are. But me and the lion of the group. Okay, all that to say, how much time did I spend on that? Okay, anyway. Okay, we said that already. Yeah. Rava said, I and the lion of the group both explain this. The Gemara asks, and who is the lion of the group? is Rav Chia bar Avin. He and Rav explained, with what are we dealing here? We are dealing with a case where the husband brought witnesses to testify that the wife committed adultery, and the wife's father brought witnesses, and through their testimony that they were with the first witnesses in some other place. At the time of the alleged transgression, they classify the husband's witnesses as conspiring witnesses. In that case, if the father comes to collect monetary restitution from the husband for defamation, the case may be adjudicated by 3 judges. And in the case of capital punishment, such as the trial of the husband's witnesses, the case must be judged by 23 judges. In this way, Ula's interpretation may be reconciled with the Tosefta. Excuse me for a minute. A little heartburn there. Sorry about that. Okay. Bye, chirp. What are we holding? Abaye said, me and the lion of the group, right? Forgot where we were holding, so I'll just go back to me and the lion of the group. Who's the lion of the group here? Avin, right? He and Rav explained what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a case where the husband brought witnesses to testify at the wife's committed adultery, and the wife's father brought witnesses, and through their testimony that they were with the first witnesses in some other place at the time of the alleged transgression, they classify the husband's witnesses as conspiring witnesses. In that case, if the father comes to collect monetary restitution from the husband for defamation, the case may be adjudicated by 3 judges. And in the case of capital punishment, such as the trial of the husband's witnesses, the case must be judged by 23 judges. In this way, Ula's interpretation may be reconciled with the Tosefta. Abaye Amar Dukuli Alma Chashin La'az Mishum Kavoidin Sholashoinim Hagamayskinan Kagoin Das Chobos Dam. Abaye said the dispute between Rabbi Meir and the rabbis can be explained in another manner. According to everyone, one need be concerned for rumors and also for the honor of the first judges. So with regard to the dispute between Rabbi Meir and the rabbis, here we are dealing with the case where the witnesses to the adultery warned her that the adultery is a capital transgression without specification of the exact manner of death penalty she would receive. Okay. The high Tanahu Ditanya Ushar Kol Chayvim Nisoy Shebetoira Ein Mamitin Oisam Ela Be'eda Be'edim V'Astra Ad Sheidu Shehu Chayav Nisa Be'Beis Din. And the matter is in accordance with this Tana, whose statement is as follows, as is taught in the Brisa, with regard to all the others who are liable for the various death penalties stated in the Torah, other than the insider to idol worship, the court executes them only when the following elements are present: the congregation, represented by the court, and witnesses, and forewarning just before the defendant commits the transgression, and the court does not execute him unless the witnesses had informed the defendant that he is liable to receive the death penalty from the court. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Ad Shiodihu Hu Be'ezo Misas Hu Neherag. Rabbi Yehuda says the defendant is not executed until the witnesses had informed the defendant by which form of the death penalty he is to be killed. According to the opinion of Abaye, the dispute in the mission involves a case in which it was known that the witnesses forewarned the woman, but they did not specify the specific death penalty she would be liable to receive. In this case, in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Meir holds that there can be no death penalty, and therefore the case may be tried by 3 judges. Rav Papa Amar. Rav Papa, it's also Wednesday. It's my own thing. I'm not making, it's not law or anything, but there was some connection between Rav Papa and Wednesday and also Rabbi Meir. It's just something, my own thing. But anyway, Rav Papa Amar, Hacha Be'isha Chavera Askinon, Yekamif Kli Yepluk, Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda V'Rabbanon. Tanya Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda Omer, Chaver ein tzarech asro, lefi shelo nitna asro, ela lehavchin ben shogeg lemezid. Okay, Rav Papa said a similar explanation. Here we're dealing with a woman who is a Havera, meaning she is knowledgeable with regard to Torah matters, and they disagree with regard to the issue that is the subject of the dispute between Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda and the rabbis. As it is taught in a Braita, Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda says, a Chaver, as he is knowledgeable in the Torah, does not need to be issued a forewarning by the witnesses, because forewarning is given only to distinguish between unintentional sin and intentional sin. And in the case of a Chaver, it is clear that he is aware of the halacha. The rabbis maintain that even a Chaver may not be punished unless he has been forewarned. Rav Papa suggests that Rabbi Meir holds that a Chavera must be forewarned, and the Mishnah discussed a case where this forewarning did not take place, and consequently the trial of her alleged defamer could not lead to a capital punishment. Things came to mind. I wonder, we know this famous story of Mayor and Bruria. It's brought down that, it's kind of a hard to understand story, but I wonder if his opinion that a Chavira must be forewarned is influenced by the incident. I wonder if this happened before or after the Bruria event. Hamevin Yavin, But basically, he's saying that Bruria, obviously, we know was definitely a Chavera. She was definitely knowledgeable. But he says, you know what? Even someone who's knowledgeable still has to be forewarned, because unfortunately the story had a sad ending. But which is one of the hard to understand stories. But anyway, I wonder. It's interesting that he says that a Chavera must be forewarned. And the Mishnah discussed the case where the forewarning did not take place, and consequently the trial for alleged defamer could not lead to capital punishment. Amen. I was kidding. Rav Ashi Amar Kagoin. Rav Ashi says a different explanation. The dispute in the Mishnah concerns a case where freeze.